Let's turn our attention now to Anambra as we count down to the critical governorship election coming up on the 8th of November this year. Last weekend's by-elections offered a telling glimpse into party fortunes in what felt like a pre-final for the main contest. We saw the ruling APGA sweeping the two available seats, Senatorial and State Assembly, and they say it's a way of cementing APGA's dominance. In fact, Governor Soludo has confidently declared that Anambra is APGA, dismissing APC, PDP, LP, ADC all put together as virtually non-entities in the state's political landscape. Let's talk to APC chairman in Anambra State and find out precisely how the party is reacting to this development. I'm joined by the chairman of the APC in Anambra State, Mr. Basil Ejidike, joins me live from our Abuja studio. Thank you so much for joining us this hour. Your party trailed far behind APGA in the just concluded by-election. Some say it's a sign of what's to come in November. What do you say?
Thank you so much, my brother Nifemi, for welcoming me. Yes, the so-called election was held almost 2 weeks ago, but the fact remains that there was no election. There was no election in the sense that a situation where non-state actors had to take over the responsibility of providing security in an election, of course, you agree with me, cannot be understood. In Anambra State on the day in question, the Agune Chamber, which is the local vigilante set up by the state government, had to, in fact, as early as 9 o'clock, had to surround the home of the APC candidate for that election. They came in not less than 50 Sienna buses and surrounded his home on a flimsy excuse that some people brought in ballot boxes to his home. And of course, you can imagine how funny. At this level of our electoral development, how can one be talking of people taking ballot papers? And of course, that was what they had to put up to do what they did. The candidate of the party was held hostage for over 4 to 5 hours. And as that was going on, the deputy governor of the state, who obviously had no business going to that part of the state. Of course, the deputy governor hails from the Central Senatorial District and resides in Oka, but he had to leave Oka in such a manner with armament of army, police, state vigilante service, civil defense, and invaded the home of the APC governorship candidate in the person of Owele Dr. Nicholas Okachuku, and even trailed him to his polling booth where he had gone to exercise his franchise. The deputy governor had to engage him, all in an effort to distract him and cause confusion.
I hear you. Allow me to jump in quickly, Mr. Ejidike, because I've spoken with the APC governorship candidate on the news on this matter, and he also gave us a detailed outline of what really happened. I'm hoping that we can move on from that, because you've expressed some concerns about what you claim to be compromised votes in the by-election. Does that mean that APC doesn't trust the system ahead of November? Are you saying you don't trust INEC to conduct a free and fair election come November 2025?
No, Nifemi, we had actually had every trust. But what played out was still very confusing to each and every one of us. And like I said, a situation where non-state actor had to take over the issue of providing security. Apart from that, the deputy governor had to even visit the governorship candidate of the party, had to engage him all in an effort to distract him. But that was not even enough. The same day, the APC chairman of Unri ward, where the deputy governorship candidate, distinguished Senator Uche Ekunife hails from, the APC chairman of his hometown, that's his ward, was murdered the same day. So why the deputy governorship candidate was engaged at Unri, the senatorial candidate of the party was held hostage in his house for more than 4 to 5 hours. The governorship candidate of the party was engaged by the deputy governor of the state. My brother, what do you expect from that situation? And the deputy governor did not even end there. He finished from there and arrogated to himself the duty of going around the various communities to supervise and monitor the election.
Precisely.
So you can imagine.
What mechanisms is your party proposing now ahead of November, especially to INEC and security forces in this regard?
Of course, we have learned our lessons. And of course, we expect that such a thing can never happen again. Yes, where the party is looking into the whole thing and we come up with full statement in due course. But more importantly, the fact that there's obviously no way the party can allow a situation where non-state actor had to take over the issue of providing security in an election situation. It's never done anywhere, and nobody can allow that. That was exactly the situation.
Yes. All of that aside, you know, I understand your grievances. I expect that all of the issues you've talked about, you've also perhaps gone to court or petitioned the police or other relevant agencies so that you can also, you know, get to the end of it. But Anambra is an APGA state, right? You are contesting against an incumbent governor. So that makes it a little bit difficult. He's also a governor that identifies as progressive. We've seen him with the president a couple of times. The last time he visited, he had a cap on like you do. The only difference is that he wrote progressives working together. So I'm wondering how you're recalibrating your strategy in a state that has an APGA governor and that also has some form of camaraderie with Mr. President.
Well, of course, as a party, we have been doing our best. We've been engaging our people, convincing them on the need to support APC, and they have been following. They have understood exactly what we are saying. And there again, there's this common understanding in Anambra State that APGA, having stayed in government for over 21 years, APGA has not gotten anything to offer to the party, to the people of Anambra State. And then mind you, that
I thought it was 19 years
of the state governor yes. has been that that APC never existed in Anambra State. But I wonder whether he's still saying the same thing today. The governor has now come to realize the fact that APC is not just entrenched in the state, but that APC is already threatening the position which he's occupying today. And again, my brother Nifemi, you can understand the situation where the governor has not even performed at all. Poor performance of the administration is one of the things that are enhancing the position of APC in Anambra State. The governor has not even provided the dividend of democracy to the people of Anambra State. Anambra State today is engulfed with insecurity. 1/3 of Anambra State today cannot be assessed by anybody because of insecurity. There's a lot of multiple taxation in Anambra today. A woman selling vegetables is subjected to multiple taxation, just like ordinary citizen selling groundnuts in a wheelbarrow is subjected to multiple taxation.
So, Ejidike,
and of course, the activities.
Yes.
Yes.
I hear you clearly. You know, interestingly, politicians have different narratives. The last time we spoke with an APGA, person who was talking about the efforts of government in, minimizing taxation, how they've also improved security in Anambra over the years. But we have to go now. What really would you say is the APC's core message to Anambra voters right now, especially those who feel APGA has already won? Why should they stay engaged and consider APC as a viable option in November 8th? We can do that in a minute.
Well, of course, because we have a viable candidate in the person of Dr. Owele Nicholas Okachukwu. This is somebody who is a thoroughbred politician, a very successful businessman, and of course in Anambra State today, the combination of Okachukwu and Iyom Ekwunife, of course, has been the greatest thing to happen to anybody. It is a combination to be beat by any individual, by any party. So the coming on board of Okachukwu, of course, has that potential of changing things around.
All right.
Because Okachukwu, apart from having made his way, like I said, a thoroughbred politician, successful businessman, he has done a lot for the people, a very calm individual, and of course, as a pastor, he has that human milk in his person. He doesn't claim to know everything. And mind you, back home in Osumeni, Okachukwu is known as a philanthropist. He has provided so much for his people. And at a point, he was the second highest employer of labor in Anambra State. Through his mega factory at Nkwo. And unfortunately, that has to be closed because of the insecurity in Anambra State.
I hear you clearly.
What I'm saying, in essence, is that with Okachukwu as the candidate of the party, of course, APGA knows that they are in trouble.
I get time will tell, Mr. Ejidike, and we'll see how Anambra voters decide come November. I've been speaking with Basil Ejidike, who's APC chairman in Anambra State. We have to go. We probably will continue this conversation subsequently. Thank you so much for joining us on Beyond the Headlines.
Thank you so much, Nifemi, for having me.